Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
You know, good to get back to school. You know, on this chilly day. So we are going to be brief because I do not like the cold. Listen. We're really excited about the opening of our schools, and we want to be extremely clear. The safest place for our children is in a school building. And we are going to keep our schools open and ensure that our children are safe in a safe environment. If you look last year, 2020, you witnessed that the transmission rate was less than 1% inside a school. In a household, it was over 15%. But it was more than just COVID. Our children were exposed to an environment of crime, of uncertainty. It really traumatized parents that did not have child care. The remote learning aspect of it was terrible for poorer communities, particularly those children that lived in homeless shelters or that were housing insecure. The food aspect, schools provide primary meals for many students in this city. And then the socialization. We saw an increase in attempted suicides. We saw children that were exposed to dangerous environments. Schools play a role of safety and stability for our children. And that is why the Chancellor and I and the entire team of educators across this city, we have been so focused on keeping our schools open and sending that message. We're not sending an unclear message of what is going to happen day to day. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen day to day. We are staying open. We're going to do everything that we have to do to keep our schools open. And I know there's questions about staffing. I know there's questions about testing. There's a lot of questions. But we're going to turn those question marks into an exclamation point. We're staying open. We're going to make sure our children are in safe spaces. And something happened over the last days from Wednesday on that did not show on the radar of New Yorkers. We took over 1.5 million test kits, mobilized our educators, Michael Mulgrew from the UFT, the Chancellor, his team, NYPD, other city agencies, and we placed test kits in every school in the Department of Education. So when the teachers and staff and principals returned, they had to test kits on the ground. Seamless coordination of how city agencies are supposed to come together to do what I say all the time, what my administration is going to be known for, GSD, get stuff done. We're going to get stuff done in this city to make sure we can focus and operate. So I want to thank this entire team here, the principal and their administrators. I want to thank my partners in government, Councilman Salamanca and the amazing borough president of the borough of the Bronx, Vanessa Gibson, and all this leadership team and school community that are here, they go beyond the call of duty to provide for our children. And we're here today to say to them, we have your backs to allow you to do your job in the rightful way. And I'm proud of my Chancellor and his focus and determination to create an environment where we will raise healthy children and educate them to the fullness of their ability to function and be productive citizens in our society. And so I'm going to take a step back, turn the microphone over to the Chancellor of the City of New York, David Banks. Chancellor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's certainly my pleasure to be here this morning on a first day back to school for the new semester and the beginning of a new day, I think, in New York for all of our young people. And I'm particularly happy to be here in the Bronx, and I feel like I'm back in my old stomping grounds. I was a principal for many years, just a few blocks from here. And so I know this area very well when I was the founding principal of the Bronx School for Law, Government, and Justice, as well as the Eagle Academy. And so I'm certainly Happy to be here. The mayor already mentioned some of the elected officials who are here, but I also wanted to acknowledge Assembly Member Jackson, Council Member Stevens as well. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Your beautiful son as well. Thank you. Really important. This school that we happen to be at, we're here for a particular reason, because these schools that we're sharing time with you this morning are very focused on not just excellence, but their ability to work together as schools is critically important. And so I just want to take a moment and acknowledge the principals who are here today and their staff. Principal Sorton and Principal Hoggard, where are you? Please wave so everybody can see you, because what you are doing here today is absolutely, there she is, Principal Sorton, superstar, and you need to know that. Her school is a blue ribbon school. It's one of the best schools in the city and around the country, and it's an example of what we want to lift up in this work. And we need everyone else around the city to understand the kind of work that you do and how others can learn from that. But for Principal Hoggard, we're here because as well, this is a District 75 school that you have, and the issues and the challenges. So we're here very intentionally because the mayor said, I want to be in a place where there's a District 75 population, because it's critically important that you know that we see you, we respect you, we're going to support you and give you all that you need in order to continue to be successful. So we want to thank you so much, Principal Hoggard, and your entire staff who's out here as well, freezing in the cold. Amazing. I'm so proud to stand here today, shoulder to shoulder, with not only Mayor Adams, but every single educator, school leader, social worker, guidance counselor, food service employee, custodian, and school safety agents who come to school every day to serve our children. And we want to thank them very, very much. We have worked night and day with our partners in City Hall, the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, the Test and Trace Corps, and I want to do a special shout out to the NYPD because of the work that they did in working with the governor's office to ensure that we got all the test kits that we needed to ensure that all of our kids will be safe. So big shout out, everybody, please, for all of those mayoral agencies and the NYPD who worked so hard to make sure that all of our children would be safe here today. We want to thank them so much. Today, we're announcing a Department of Education COVID Command Center where principals and district leadership can immediately address and escalate any issues they need help with, including ensuring that our buildings have the staff that they need to safely operate. This escalation protocol will support our school leaders across the city and help to keep our doors open. Our schools are safe by design. At every school, when someone walks into the building, they have to pass a health screening. That building has fully functioning ventilation, universal mask usage, and every adult is vaccinated. These measures make schools the safest environments for young people to be in, just as our mayor said. Safer than any other public place where these measures are not generally enforced. There is less COVID in our schools than in the community, and when a case does occur, it is not likely to be passed along. Today, we have 1.5 million rapid test kits on hand. When there is a case in school, we will test every close contact, isolate positive cases, and keep the rest of our young people safely learning. This is on top of the work that we've done improving ventilation, universal mask usage, and physical distancing. Finally, we cannot forget vaccination. All of our in-school staff are vaccinated, and we urge every parent with a child who is not yet vaccinated, please do it today. I know every parent takes the health of their child very seriously. My guarantee today is that we are not relaxing our standards, we're reinforcing them. We owe it to our children to bring all our resources to bear to support schools staying open. We've seen what isolation does to all of us, and we know that it impacts our young people even more. We owe it to our children to do everything we can to keep our schools safe and to keep them open. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of work ahead of us to ensure that every child is attending a great school, that we're authentically engaging parents and serving all of our students regardless of their family's income or if they have a disability. But today I'm thankful that our young people are in school safely. What our public schools do every day, be very clear, is a miracle. Safely bringing together over 1 million New Yorkers of all different backgrounds to learn and grow with each other. My commitment to each of them is that I will work with Mayor Adams and every other member of his team to keep these schools safely open. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, who's next up? Okay, is it our borough president? Madam Borough President Vanessa Gibson, please.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias a todos. Good morning and welcome. Bienvenidos. Welcome. I am so excited to be here, although it's cold, but I'm grateful. I am the newly elected Bronx Borough President, Vanessa L. Gibson, and I welcome each and every one of you here to the Concourse Village Elementary School and our District 75 school here in Community School District 7 in the Boogie Down Bronx. I am proud to join our mayor, Mayor Eric L. Adams, our school's chancellor, David Banks, my colleagues in government, Assemblymember Chantel Jackson, Councilmember Rafael Salamanca Jr., and Aiden, his son, and Councilmember Althea Stevens, and all of the leadership here from our Executive Superintendent, Erica Tabaya, our Superintendent of District 7, as well as the principals of both the Concourse Village School and the D75 school. Our collective efforts, standing in unison and standing in solidarity to affirm our commitment to keeping our New York City public schools open, making sure that we do our part to protect all of our school children, our educators, and our administrators. On this day, as we open officially on this new year of 2022, it is important to remind all of our parents and educators of what we have endured the past 2 years with COVID-19. COVID-19 will never get the best of us. It will not tear us down, but we will respond in a way that is comprehensive and deliberate and collaborative. We will work together with the Department of Health, the Department of Education, all of our educators and stakeholders to make sure that we make wise decisions on behalf of 1.1 million school children. And so as a result of today's announcement by our Chancellor, we're going to redouble our efforts to ensure that we double the level of COVID-19 testing in our schools. We make sure that we have COVID-19 testing sites in all of our communities, particularly many communities where it's hard to get access to COVID-19 testing. We've seen all of the long lines, and we know that there are challenges with capacity, but we are here to reassure every parent and every student and every educator that we have your back. Because this is an administration, as Mayor Adams has said, we will get stuff done. We are very deliberate in our work and in our commitment and our passion in making sure that we get rid of COVID-19. We get rid of this pandemic and return to some sort of normalcy. So here in School District 7 and throughout the Bronx and throughout the city of New York, we're going to make sure that our schools are well equipped with all of the resources that each and every one of you needs to keep our children and our families healthy, well, and safe. That is our message today. And so I'm honored as the borough president to join with all of my colleagues and all of our educators in saying thank you for all that you have done and all that you continue to do. I want to also recognize, in addition to our educators and teachers, administrators, our paras, our school support staff, food, school unit, and each and every one of you, I want to shout out our school crossing guards that are out in the cold today, making sure that our children are getting to school safe. We appreciate you and we salute you. I look forward to working with this new administration under the leadership of Mayor Adams and Chancellor Banks and making sure that we get stuff done. We have no time to waste. Our children need us right now. And so we are saying collectively, the best place to be is in our New York City public schools. And we're going to make sure that we allay any concerns that parents have in making sure we encourage COVID testing. We encourage you to get the vaccination. And for those that are eligible, please get your booster shot. I wish each and every one of our children and families and our administrators a wonderful and safe and productive school year. Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo. God bless you all. And I look forward to working with you as your Bronx Borough President. Thank you so much. Get stuff done. You got this.
When a mayor has swagger, the city has swagger. We've allowed people to beat us down so much that all we did was wallow in COVID. That's all we did. And we no longer believed. This is a city of swagger. This is a city of resiliency. And all of these messages out there of what is going to happen, we're going to survive. And your message, your direct comment, your forcefulness, matching yours and matching the rest of ours, we're not going to be defined by COVID, by crime, by economy. And you know why? Because we went through some stuff.
That's right.
All of us have went through some stuff. So this is nothing to those who have gone through a lot.
Right.
We're going to be here and turn our city around.
Right.
You inspired me, sister.
Yes.
You inspired me.
Yes.
That's right. People worry, ask why I got so much swagger. We need a mayor of swagger. We need a councilwoman with swagger. We need an assemblywoman with swagger. We need a borough president with swagger. We need a chancellor with swagger. We need a police commissioner with swagger. This is New York. It's a privilege to live in New York. And the leadership should have that swagger. That's what has been missing in this city. Boy, you inspired me. Clarity. So I know it's cold, but you're going to warm us up. Listen, I'm sorry to my assemblywomen and my councilwomen for missing you earlier, but I'm glad you joined us here, new leadership throughout the city. So we wanted to bring up First Councilman Rafael Salamanca. We're going to blow up that barge, right, brother? You know, we're going to blow up that jail in the Bronx. And then we're going to bring Assembly members Chantel Jackson and Councilwoman Stevens. And then we'll get inside, get out of the cold after we ask a few questions.
All right. Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rafael Salamanca Jr. I'm the council member for the South Bronx here, and I'm accompanied by my son, Aiden. I just want to say to Mr. Mayor, I believe in you. I believe in your vision. That's why, I believed in you from the very beginning, and I've been with you then, and I'm still with you now, and I will continue to be with you now. I also believe in the vision that you have in terms of opening up schools, and what's most important is to know that there are 1.1 million tests out there for our students in public schools to get tested. Buenos días, me llamo Rafael Salamanca Jr., soy el concejal del sur de Bronx. Le quiero dar las gracias al alcalde Eric Adams por estar aquí con nosotros hoy, y un mensaje bien breve que yo creo en el alcalde. Yo creo que el alcalde está haciendo lo que es correcto para nuestra comunidad. Estoy bien contento que hay 1.1 millones de exámenes para que los muchachos en nuestras escuelas públicas se pueden hacer la prueba del COVID-19. Y con eso, que Dios los bendiga. God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
See, I respect y'all cold out here, so I'm going to make it brief. I'm Assemblymember Chantel Jackson. You are in the 79th Assembly District, so I represent this school and all the other schools here at the state level. New to government, but not new to what's happening here. I am a school social worker at heart. I have my LMSW, right? So I'm still a social worker. So when I speak to people, I'm coming from a mental health space. It is extremely important that we keep our kids in school because the social workers need to see them to know what's going on. They need that contact to be able to know how people are feeling, how they're dealing with the social, emotional. I dealt with a lot of grief counseling during the very first the beginning of COVID, and I know that our social workers are still dealing with those things. And it was extremely hard to do that via remote. So we need our kids to be in school. So I say thank you to our mayor, thank you to our chancellor for making sure that our schools are safe, that they're clean. We thank everyone that is inside the school that's keeping our kids there. Education is extremely important. Here in the South Bronx, we already know how much poverty we are living under, and we know that education is the way that we get out. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You have my support at the state level. Thank you to my city council members as well. You guys know we are great members together. My new borough president, we are going to do this work. We are going to come with the swag, and we're going to get it done.
Yeah, come on.
Peace, family. How's everybody doing? It's cold, but we feeling good, right? Because we have to remember that we're here to support young people. My name is Althea Stevens. I am the newbie on the block. I am the new elected council member for this district, replacing our lovely borough president, Vanessa Gibson. So I just want to say I'm just excited that we are keeping these schools open because it's important. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for showing courage in this moment. Thank you, our chancellor, for stepping in with these ideas and moving us forward. Because I say it all the time, if we are not doing it for our young people, what are we doing it for? It is important that our kids are in school. One of the things that had me most devastated during the pandemic was I knew that there were children who weren't getting hugs. And that hurt me. I was in youth development for 20 years before I even thought about running for office. And young people are the people who told me to run for office. And so for me, it's always my duty to make sure that we are moving in love and listening to them. They need to be in schools. They need to socialize. These are crucial times in their lives where they're learning how to interact with people, how to make decisions. And it's at schools that a lot of these things happen. So I'm happy to be here. Mr. Mayor, you have my support. Everybody who knows me, I am a strong advocate for young people. So I'm excited to stand here and work together. And I'm so excited to work with our new school chancellor and get to work for our young people throughout the city. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
So we're going to do a few on-topic questions, then the mayor and the chancellor are going to do their walkthrough. So let's start with Steve.
Wait, hold it. Let's not miss the optimum word that you use. Few. Because I'm cold.
Try and keep it short. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning.
Heard a lot of talk about how students can stay safe, but what's being done to make sure there's an adequate level of staffing in each school with so many staffers calling in sick?
Chancellor?
Yeah, we're monitoring all of the staffing issues that are happening now. We've certainly shored up all of our sub pool. We have a fully developed pool of paraprofessionals as well, and we've got all of our central staff that's ready to go. So, we're monitoring that now. As soon as I'm done with this press conference, I'll get an update on exactly where we are. But all indications are that we're in a pretty good place right now, and we'll be prepared to make whatever adjustments are needed.
We should really take our hats off to the bus operators, the school staff. There was an amazing coordination behind the scene of just getting these schools open, and people put aside the politics, their feelings, their emotions. What was happening behind the scene to get these schools open is really amazing. It's commendable of the city and their focus. We're gonna pivot. We're gonna shift. We're gonna adjust. We're gonna get it done. That's the bottom line. And we're gonna get these schools open, and our children are going to be safe. Yes.
Apparently there's some email that went out from a principal from PS58 about the school being closed due to staffing shortages. Can I get your reaction to that, also the Chancellor's reaction?
Well, the email went out. The Chancellor is going to find out exactly what happened there. We have a situation room where we have the coordination to get the support that's needed. And we're going to find out what happened. Now, when you're dealing with over 1 million school children and you're dealing with such a large number of plants, you have things that will slip through the cracks, and we're going to find out what happened there. The message is clear from us. Our schools are open, and if principals need support, they should reach out to the situation room and have the coordination that we put in place. We put a great plan in place, and we want everyone to follow that plan so we can be on one message. Chancellor, you want to add?
Not much more to add.
Mayor, Happy New Year.
Same to you. Happy New Year.
To kind of follow up on this question, I've heard similar staffing issues from schools where they're saying they've got some kids in the auditorium today because they don't have enough sub coverage. I've heard from them that the situation room before break was overwhelmed and that it was taking days to get tests back. You'd find out you were positive days later. You'd find out you were close contact days after the fact. So what? Now we're hearing there's going to be a command center. How are these things going to work together, and how can you ensure that there's going to be the staffing, there's going to be the testing, and if you give us any sense of how your PCR supply is, I know you spoke about the rapids, but how the PCR testing is going and what the turnaround times are. Well,
because there was a lot of questions there. Because your feeling is the anxiety that New York is feeling, and so I really enjoyed the series of questions because that's what New Yorkers are saying right now. New Yorkers are saying, I'm feeling all of these emotions, and I want to say to New Yorkers that calmness is competency. We need to be calm. If we feel this sense of anxiety, we're going to make the wrong calls. And I commend that school that opened the auditorium because that's what it's going to take to get through this. It's putting the pieces together. This is the life that we have lived. We've lived a life where we had to figure it out. My mother raised 6 children by herself, and she didn't do it in some process. Every day she figured out, what am I going to put together? How am I going to put flour and water together, make it tasteful enough so my babies are going to appreciate it? We are used to focusing and making it happen. So those children that are opening up gym spaces, that are opening auditorium, that are shifting based on COVID, I commend them. This is what we have to do to get through this. There's no perfect science to COVID. COVID is not following some plan. It's giving us new variants. It's doing new things. We got to shift to adjust to that. We're going to do that. And so what we did over the weekend of the teachers and Michael Mulgrew came to us last week and they stated that the situation room was a mess. I went in with my team, the Chancellor, and we turned it around. Go to Michael Mulgrew today. We got it done. We had to get those 1.5 million tests in every school in this city. We got it done. New Yorkers, let's stop beating up on each other. We're getting it done. We're getting it done. And so, yes, this is a period. COVID is spiking. Let's go through this spike. It's going to dissipate, and we're going to turn this city around in the process. So your question, your anxiety, we're all feeling it. We're all feeling it. But we're getting through it. We will have our schools open, and they will be safe.
Mayor, about the tests, how are we
Hold on. One moment. Don't do that. Order, not disorder. There's a person here pointing out who's going to speak. We're not taking yelling back and forth. That disorder is what's caused the dysfunctionality in our city. Order is how I operate. Go ahead, Jonah.
Hi, Mayor. I'm Chancellor.
How are you?
Good. I spoke with a mother walking to her 9-year-old child to school. She has cancer. Her son has asthma. And she's concerned. I think it's more than just being anxious. She's concerned about it spreading to her son and then killing her.
Yes.
Spreading to her. What do you say to those kind of parents that have more vulnerable situations and more vulnerable children inside the school?
I say to that parent, in the school, less than 1% of children are infected. At home, over 15%. So I say to that parent, bring your child to school. That's a safe place for your child. in the home and in the community is not the safest place. Bring your child to school, and they have less than 1% chance, according to what happened a year and a half ago. That is where your child needs to be, and your child needs to be in school so he can get the support that he deserves, both emotionally and physically. That is what that parent should do.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Yesterday, in one of your TV appearances, you said you were looking into the potential of mandating testing in schools, but that there were legal issues involved and that the governor might have to step in. What are you basing that on? I've seen other cities mandating tests in schools, so just wondering what advice you're getting there and why you think you need the governor's help.
Our legal team is looking at the full extent of how we can do. I'm a believer in mandating testing, but we want to do it right. We want to make sure we have enough test kits. We want to coordinate with the governor. You saw what happened with the previous administrations where the state overruled. We're creatures of the state. The state can overrule decisions. We want to make sure the governor is comfortable if we put in place a mandating testing. We want to make sure what we're going to do with those parents who don't want their children tested. I don't want them keeping them home. So we want to be smart and precision on how we execute our plan. And we don't want to do it in a reckless fashion because that's going to cause and aggravate the situation we have. I prefer mandating testing that will give us the information we need, but I want to listen to the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, my amazing team of deputy mayors and consultants, so we execute our plan correctly. It's about being meticulous and smart and not making bad decisions.
Last question over here. Mayor, Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Specifically about the tests that go home with students, how are you going to make sure that they actually are completed and that the results get back to you all? And specifically, the UFT said that there would be some sort of legal consequences to any students or staff who didn't upload the test results. What would that exactly look like?
You have to speak with Michael Mulgrew to find out what the legal issues around that, because that's not the position of what we stated. We've coordinated in amazing fashion with the UFT. I'm really impressed with what we have been able to accomplish these last few days, and we're hoping that the parents do what's right. We're giving them the test kits to show how to use it. We're going to give a full way of understanding how to use it so they can test their kids. And the overwhelming number of parents, they want a safe environment for their children. I have a lot of faith in the parents and the administration and our ability to get stuff done. We were able to get the tests where they were supposed to be in all of our schools. We accomplished that. And now it's the role of the parents and our schools to coordinate together to make sure these children are tested. And we're confident that we're going to make it happen. I'm ready to get out of the cold.